Sure. So yeah, I'm really excited to be here. I'm honestly really honored. I'll be talking about Polkadot, but more importantly, I'm talking about this word resilience. Resilience is a word I think that's really undervalued in the current ecosystem and something I want to touch on. Like I said, I'm a nerd. I'm a developer, so I hope this presentation gets too technical, but I hope also I can present these ideas and really explain to you kind of where we're going with Polkadot. Okay? Ooh, let's go back. Yeah. So what is Polkadot? So first I want to make sure that you understand that Polkadot is not just a blockchain. Now Polkadot has a blockchain, it has a token, but really we have a vision much bigger than that, right? We're trying to really build a vision towards a future with less trust and more truth. I mean, just like we talked about here, we really need systems in the world which have less trust in it, right? That you can actually believe and know for certainty that these things work. So in one sentence, Polkadot's mission is to provide a secure, scalable, and resilient platform for Web3 applications and services. So again, we are not just focused on payments, on DeFi. We're actually trying to focus on changing the way you use the internet to provide less trust and more truth, right? And I want to put this image in your head. I really believe that Polkadot will do to Web3 what AWS has done to Web2. So AWS, Amazon, has made it really easy, cheap, and scalable to launch services, right, into the cloud. And we want to do the exact same thing, but for Web3 services. So the question then becomes, what is the difference between Web3 and Web2, right? And I want to say that the key difference between these two is resilience. It is resilience against censorship. It's resilience against hacks, corruption, monopolization, regulatory overreach, all of that, right? That this is the key difference. So when we talk about building a new internet, a new server for the world, it is something that really embodies resilience. And so I want to show you in this presentation how Polkadot has captured resilience at all the layers of the network through a very decentralized community, through a diverse ecosystem, and through technology itself. Okay? And I really want to say that at every layer of Polkadot, resilience is the key factor on which we focus on and what we're trying to build. So yeah, let's start with technology. Okay. Yeah, so I believe really that Polkadot has built the next evolution of the blockchain landscape. So I want to put this analogy in your head. If we think like Bitcoin as a calculator, right, it's being able to handle certain payments and money kind of simply, and then Ethereum as the first computer, right, be able to do smart contracts, having a basic Turing complete system, I really believe Polkadot can be thought of as a multi-core server, a platform for other applications to deploy easily their services and absorb all the resilience of Web3. And it's pretty obvious to see why, Polkadot is the natural evolution after Ethereum, because it was designed by one of the co-founders of Ethereum. If you don't know Gav was the author of the Yellow Paper, which defined the EVM specification. He also wrote the first Ethereum client and even invented the Solidity language, which we all use to program on Ethereum. And when he went to Polkadot, and when he started building Polkadot, he really brought the fundamental belief that we're trying to do with Ethereum, right? It is the feeling that we want to build a ubiquitous world computer capable of executing anything and everything with resilience. So Polkadot is really trying to capture that mission that Ethereum started. And so how do we do this? Let's talk about the different technology and pieces of Polkadot which can achieve that. I would argue that Polkadot is the first multi-core blockchain. And what do I mean by multi-core? Well, I mean exactly the same thing that you talk about when you have your computers or your phones having multiple processing units, right? Multi-core is the way that we've been able to scale the blockchain to the next generation, right? That we can have applications, small applications, all work together, run on a single core. Or we can have applications that are very large, use multiple cores, and provide more throughput. The multi-core architecture has been what has led us into the current generation of computers today. And we have done the same thing for the first time with blockchain. And multi-core technology ultimately allows us to achieve parallelization. So in the blockchain world, the terminology that gets used a lot is data and execution sharding. But what we're really talking about here is separating out pieces of information, separating out applications, and having them run and execute in parallel so that we can achieve higher levels of throughput. And really, this is the thing. Like when we talk about the congestion on blockchains today, what normally happens is you have all these transactions, you put them into a single block, and then you put them through a single pipeline, one transaction at a time. When we talk about congestion, it is the fact that we only have one pipeline to process these transactions that they all get congested. If we're able to provide multiple cores, multiple throughputs, all in parallel, we can get past these current scaling issues. And then, yeah, one of the overlooked issues when we make a design like this, a sharded design, a parallel design, is that we also want to make sure that each of the different shards or cores are being executed securely. Polkadot provides an economic scaling solution called shared security, which allows every single application that runs on Polkadot to have the same security as Polkadot itself. So you don't have to come and bring your own security like other platforms. You actually get to inherit the security of Polkadot just by using the platform. And of course, if we envision a world with many applications and services, it is very important that we build at the infrastructure level interoperability, right? Not as a secondary thought, not as a, okay, we have all these things running now, all these blockchains, how do we make them work? It is designed at the very beginning that all the applications and services on Polkadot have a native interoperability layer and can interact with each other easily and seamlessly. And this provides better user experiences, better scenarios and stories for the end users, right? And not only that, but also Polkadot is providing trustless, resilient bridges to other ecosystems like Bitcoin or Ethereum. So when you build on Polkadot, you don't have to build yourself your own bridge. You don't have to secure your own bridge. You have to secure your own application. You just inherit all of these things for free on a platform. Exactly what you would expect on a Web3 server, Web3 cloud, right? And data availability, this is not something that actually we normally talk about in the Polkadot space, but something kind of hot or being talked about recently. When you build applications, you need access to a lot of resources. Platforms like Ethereum are actually depending on other platforms to provide those resources to Ethereum. So you have all these other chains providing things like execution or data availability or whatever, and you have to go across these different blockchains with these different tokens and piece together something to create a working solution. Polkadot provides all of these things all in one. So when you use Polkadot, you also have access immediately to data availability systems at no additional cost. It just comes with your application. And so really it's an all-in-one solution for building an app, just as you would expect, right? Not trying to piece together, you know, the problems of our past. So, in summary, you know, taking these technologies together, we've been able to design the most resilient blockchain platform. I mean, I hope so, right? Because we focused on resilience, but measurably so, we have been able to design the most resilient blockchain system. And not only that, it is also the most energy efficient. So, if we think about your phones, how have they been able to increase battery life? They've been able to create multi-core systems, right? Where not everything is being run all at once. We're actually able to provide a very efficient, scalable system along with the fact that we have the most resilience because of our technology stack, because of the way we designed the multi-core system. And also, it's all coming at high speeds, right? So if we actually look, again, at a multi-core architecture, applications on Polkadot are able to execute at 0.5 seconds per block. They're able to achieve per core 1,500 transactions per second. But because Polkadot has over 100 cores, we're actually able to create a full throughput of over 150,000 transactions per second, right? So again, it's this idea that we're building a multi-core system. So yeah, I mean, you know, I'm telling you here on stage that we have built the most resilient, the most energy efficient, the most high-speed systems available. But it's hard to explain this because we are actually, you know, changing the way that we are designing the blockchain. We're actually building a multi-core system. And it can be hard with the current metrics and the current narratives and whatever to actually describe how we're innovating in these spaces if you just compare it one by one. Okay, great. So now we've gone over the technology stuff. I want to talk about the community, the resilient community that we've built in Polkadot through decentralization. So everyone in Polkadot believes in building a better, more resilient world with blockchain technology. Now that might be you as well. You just have to, you know, take a look at the ecosystem here. So one of the first people I want to talk about is our DOT stakers. So these are people who are DOT holders who actually help create the secure servers that you all want to use. So we have validators who are actually like running the servers or the computers all around the world, providing the Web3 cloud that Polkadot provides. And the nominators are individuals who hold DOT who help select who these validators are. There's lots of people out in the world who want to be validators, but we use our DOT token and economies of scale to actually help them select who are the best ones for our network. And as a reward for doing this work, they get about 12% year interest return. Now I want to clarify, this is not just kind of like DeFi, random interest for whatever you do with your tokens. This is actually being paid for work done for securing the network itself. Then we have the DAO. The Polkadot DAO is already running, and it's a decentralized autonomous organization which helps decide the future of the network. It can control and manage code upgrades to the network, along with actually managing a treasury of over $150 million, which gets spent on innovating and building in the Polkadot ecosystem. We've already supported over 1,200 proposals just this year, people coming to the treasury, asking for and working with us to make Polkadot a better community. And again, all of these proposals go through the DAO and are voted on by the DAO. If you own DOT token, you are part of the DAO. All you have to do is just go vote. And you can do that on chain. And then, of course, we really believe education is going to be the key to unlocking adoption, right? That people have such a misconception, misunderstanding of what we're building in Web3. We really want to make sure that people understand what this technology provides, what it can do, and why it's important in the world. That's why we have different verticals targeting all kinds of people to onboard into Web3. We have online free education programs to talk about the basics of blockchain. We have in-person academies where we actually teach at a university level engineers how to build Web3 systems. This photo actually is from the University of Buenos Aires. We were here just over a year ago. I think you'll see me in that corner over there. We were teaching students in University of Buenos Aires how to actually become from Web2 developers to Web3 developers and actually get them building. And then when they're ready to start building, then we actually find ways to support them and fund them. Now, the Treasury is just one of those ways you can get funded, but we've supported over 470 teams already building in this ecosystem, learning to adopt and use Web3 systems to launch their products. Yeah, another really interesting, so Polkadot has one of the largest developer ecosystems of all the blockchains out there. But we don't try to bring them into one company. We actually try to bring them into a decentralized organization on-chain. So on-chain, we have this technical fellowship. This fellowship is a DAO that's used to train, organize, and pay these core developers, allow them to actually use the technology and build on top of Polkadot. And finally, of course, we're still doing lots of research. You know, the work is never done. The best solutions today are not the best solutions tomorrow. So we're continuing to build and innovate in Polkadot. We have this new paper written by Gab called Jam, which will bring 341 cores to Polkadot and allow you to access them more scalably, flexibly, and agilely. Okay? And so finally, I want to end on talking about our ecosystem of diverse applications that are all building in Polkadot, again, helping us become resilient. Here are just some of the verticals that we're covering in Polkadot. And I want to clarify again, we are not looking to be a DeFi-only solution. We're not looking to innovate in just DeFi. We're looking to innovate across many different verticals. Verticals which may not even be supported today with the existing platform. So things like gaming, identity, metaverse, AI. We really believe that existing platforms today are so tunneled into just building for DeFi that they are not good hosts for these other verticals. But if we design a true Web3 server that can run any kind of application, that can scale at the scales that we're talking about here, that we really can support whole new verticals which have been untouched and untapped today. And we've already seen this. Actually, you know, Polkadot is running today, and we have some really big services running and using Polkadot. We've supported over 32 million transactions this last month. As you can see here, that we have services like NeuroWeb, Frequency, Mythos, that are pushing millions of transactions already on top of our decentralized infrastructure. And so, you know, it's already being shown that Polkadot is really working as a great scalable cloud server. And again, one of the best things about this multi-core architecture is that the volume of traffic between these different services, they don't interfere with each other. If you use something like Ethereum, if one app is having high volume, then it makes the other app slower or more expensive. Here, because each app gets its own core or multiple cores, they can run independently with each other. They can all scale together. So one of the platforms we'll talk about is Hydration. Hydration, of course, is a DeFi platform. But what's unique about it is that it's run by a DAO. It is entirely controlled and managed by a DAO. All the tokens it uses, all the trades, all the upgrades is also in the spirit of Polkadot, run by a DAO. And there are things like when they joined Polkadot, they got native access to USDC, USDT, all these stable coins, and they were able to support transactions and trades without need for any specific token. They could swap any token they want. And you can pay with any token you want for the fees. So you don't have to own ETH, you don't have to own a specific token. You can just come with whatever you have and trade and use this platform. Then we have Mythical Games. They are a next-generation gaming platform. They are focused on games first, blockchain second. Their games are actually high-quality AAA games. They are the #1 gaming and NFT chain in all the blockchains. And they came to Polkadot because we were the only ones that could provide the scalability to them that they needed to build their applications. They were actually on Ethereum originally, and they came to us to launch their application. If you actually go back real quick, you can see that, again, Mythos is already running 7 million transactions per month, and they just onboarded recently. So we were able to actually satisfy and push them. And we want to put them 10x even more. And again, what's important is that they are building real games and then secondarily using Web3 to enhance the experience of users. Finally, we have Mandala. Mandala is a team that is still building right now. They haven't launched. But what's exciting about them is that they're actually trying to target governments and enterprise. So they're actually working with Indonesia, which is the 4th largest population in the world. And they want to actually bring all of these different government things, such as finance, such as identity, such as banking, onto a resilient Polkadot network. And again, the only place they could build is on Polkadot, because it's the only place that they could actually scale to the level of usage that they want. So yeah, I want to say if this presentation resonated with anyone in this room, that you too can be resilient. You can use our technology, you can join our community, or you can build in our ecosystem. you know, I'm really thankful to be here. Again, you guys are such a great energy. I'm going to be at the booth in the back if you want to talk to me. And yeah, thank you so much.